In today's video, we're going to check out the brand new TECNO CAMON 40 Pro 5G. This was one of the devices that were launched at MWC 2025 alongside the Premier, the Pro, and the standard CAMON 40. And I feel like the unique position of the Pro 5G is that it gives us the ability of having a large, beautiful display with curved edges, up to 144 Hz refresh rate, 45 watt charging with that 5200 mAh battery that we have in here, the Dimensity 7300 processor, and of course, stereo speakers. So, before I forget, of course, we also have the DeepSeek R1 as the built-in assistant. This is TK, and this is the TECNO CAMON 40 Pro 5G. Let's check it out and all of the cool things that it brings. Like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos for you on the channel. So here's the retail packaging. Again, this is the CAMON 40 Pro 5G. There is a standard 40 and a standard 40 Pro, which is the 4G model of this version. And then of course there is the Premier version, which is a step up from this one. So this one's technically the one step down from the best version they released. Now it is featuring TECNO AI. We're going to talk about all of the new features built into here. And again, one of the biggest things I'll probably say is that the DeepSeek R1 is the default built-in assistant. So you're able to use it right out of the box. We have a 50 megapixel primary camera on the back, as well as a 50 megapixel camera on the front, curved AMOLED display, IP68 and IP69 water and dust resistance, and of course all of this built in with 256 gigs of internal storage with up to 16 gigabytes of RAM, 8 built in and 8 leveraging the 256 in there. We obviously have some protection with Corning Gorilla here, Dolby Atmos, and of course Tough Island certification and DxOMart for the camera quality. Now this is going to be featuring the Dimensity 7300 processor and of course 5200 mAh battery, and last but not least, there is a charger in the box, the 45 watt charger in the box that is included, European style plug of course, and Dolby Atmos dual stereo speakers since we have stereo speakers built in here. Here we have it. This is also the included case that they do provide us here. So what the nice thing about it is, not only do we get the charger, we also get the cable, we also get the device, and a nice cover or a case that matches the design of the phone. There's a few colors available in here. This one is actually very nice and almost looks like a marbled stone or a type of a stone feel to it. And you notice the colors kind of change depending on how the light is hitting it. We have TECNO and of course CAMON. This is the 40 Pro 5G, not the 40 Pro. And of course we have the dual cameras in the back. No wireless charging on this guy. This is pretty much just wire charging using the 45 watt charger that's included in the box. And of course, as well as the cable that they provided us. Now, if we start off on the right side, we'll notice that the volume rocker and the power button are positioned on the right side. You're able to push it, open it up, use the fingerprint sensor. This is obviously an optical fingerprint sensor, not an ultrasonic. If you press and hold, you'll notice that the assistant gets launched, and this is the DeepSeek R1 assistant. But we also have a one-tap button functionality that is new, and this is something that we don't see with a lot of devices, and that's the ability of actually, if I double tap on this, it's going to open up the camera. If I press and hold, it's going to also do the same thing, open up the assistant, and you can customize that in the settings. We have the basically their own entertainment or good afternoon, kind of like a summary experience here on the left side, the AI toolkit, the functional options that you're able to customize, as well as the ability of doing the global search. I have the Google Play Store built in, and of course this is a global edition, so it's going to come in with all of that information. We're going to talk about Geekbench and speed tests, of course, and you can of course download and install all the applications that you want. It is a curved display. It is actually curved or dual curved on the front and on the back. It is a beautiful 6.78 inch 144 Hz refresh rate display. The Pro model only goes up to 120, and the Premier and of course the Pro 5G, we'll go back to the camera, both feature up to 144 Hz. Now the Premier does feature a higher resolution display, where this one is a 1080p resolution. Now the operating system that we're looking at here is iOS. This is version 15.0.2 on top of Android 15. Again, we have 8 gigabytes of RAM built in, and we're leveraging another 8 directly from the system in here. Memory fuse is what they're calling. The front-facing camera is a 50 megapixel camera, as well as the main sensor on the back. The battery, as we said, 5200 mAh, and the screen resolution here is 1080 by 2436. Again, 1080p resolution display. Android 15 out of the box, again, with iOS 15.0.2. And as you notice here, if there is any updates, you can jump in there, check for it. And for me, since I've had the unit itself, I've only received one update. Currently running January 5th of 2025 security patch update. The main customizations that I love about this is the one-tap button function. You can jump into it. You can customize the double press. You can go in there and change it from opening the camera, opening the flash, mute, do not disturb, flashlight, customizing it, even launching the translation application. Long press is the ability of turning on the assistant. So here, the default assistant, it's called Ella. This is the DeepSeek R1. If you do want to install the Google or leverage it and use Gemini, you're more than welcome to do it. But again, out of the box, this is built in to be the default one. Gesture wake up via navigation bar. We have voice wake up, of course, all the customizations for that. And we can definitely customize the experience. And of course, haptic feedback, just to know that you're actually pressing the button. You can log into your Canon account or to your TECNO account. Configuration here, SIM and network configuration. There is no eSIM, unfortunately. This is pretty much just a dual SIM configuration, so something to keep in mind. And just in case you guys are wondering, it does support 5G on T-Mobile here in the Los Angeles area, which is the one I've been using and testing it in my area. So 5G support is built in, and of course I have it connected directly into my Wi-Fi. The notification panel is pretty straightforward to what we see now with most Android devices. It's a split experience where the toggle's on the right and of course the notifications on the left, and you can just wipe down to it and configure it to be to whatever you want it to be. Bluetooth, Wi-Fi connectivity, but I wanted to talk to you guys about the TECNO AI functions and some of the options that we have in here. We talked about the Ella Voice. This is the DeepSeek R1. Ella Smart Touch, of course, you're able to customize that experience. Call Assistant, call translation here. This is a nice functionality that actually prior to this, I've only seen it on Samsung devices. So this is nice to see. Social Assistant to help us with that experience as well. Document Assistant, Writing Assistant to be able to help us write better. We also have the ability of summarizing recordings, AI Wallpaper Generator, of course, just again, leveraging the DeepSeek, I guess the AI functionalities that we have in here. We have additional options that you're able to customize for suggestions and Smart Accelerator in there as well. But the nice thing about it is it really leverages the experience very nicely. So when I first connected my device to the T-Mobile network here, T-Mobile sent me a nice message saying that it is not fully compatible with my area. But let's say I want to be able to use some of that AI functionality. So I can go ahead and highlight the entire text that I wrote. And, well, I can say I highlighted everything, and then we can go to AI writing, and we can customize that text generator, proofreading it, summarize, friendly, changing the tone, all of that experience. Very easy, and it's intuitive because I feel like it's built to where you're actually able to access it when you're using it. So if you don't need it, it doesn't show up. I guess if there's a better way of looking at it that way. So if I didn't really need it, it wouldn't pop in front of me, but if I did, I can highlight and start using it. We do have a little bit of experience here as well with a side launcher. This one, like the recent pictures taken in there. You can also the recent documents, and of course, quick access to some of your applications. You can customize that in there. Now, as most devices now, we do have obviously some AI functionalities that help us leverage the main work that we need to do on our devices. So we have an AI Sharpness Plus, we have AI Eraser, and an AI Extender. AI Extender does exactly what it expected. It provides us a border around it, and we can use the AI system that we have in here to fill in the background and expand basically the image to give us a better image in case we took a picture and we were too close to the subject and we want to add a little bit more space. So we can crop it maybe to a better, maybe 16:9 from a 4:3 image. So you can see here what it did. Essentially, it just provided us a little bit more space, and it actually does a pretty decent job. You do need two fingers in this mode to be able to swipe between one or the other. I'm going to go ahead and say exit. We're not going to keep this one. But we also have AI Eraser, which helps us enjoy the ability of removing subjects. So let's go ahead and go back out of the AI function here. And an example here, we have a couple of people sitting in there. There's a gentleman sitting right there. And then there's a person all the way in the back leaving at the door when I was taking this picture in San Diego from the Hotel del Coronado. And of course, using the AI tool, I'm able to remove them, put the experience down to basically just be an entirely beautiful room, empty. And of course, it gives us that experience seamlessly. Now, a lot of this stuff is built in, and it is going to be basically leveraging internet connectivity. It's not built into the device. This is running the Dimensity 7300. Dimensity goes from 7000, 8000, and 9000 series, and of course there's the 6000 series. But the main thing overall that we're getting here is a great experience overall with a very nice, fluid, very fast experience. And of course, we're going to check out the gaming in a second. Cameras, we talked about them. We have a dual camera setup here, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide on the back, as well as the ability of using, let's go ahead and go into the AI camera. And so that takes us into the ultra-wide in the back, and then basically the main sensor with the 2-time crop. So really two cameras that we're able to use. Front-facing camera, pretty much the same experience. 50-megapixel camera here. That gives you the ability of just kind of jumping in a little bit. So out of the box, it comes in zoomed in, but it is somewhat of a wide lens, so you're able to fit a little bit more. For video experience, which really I definitely appreciate that there, main sensor on the back and the main sensor on the front are both capable of giving us 4K 30 frames per second, and it is mirrored between them. The 8-megapixel camera does not. It drops us back down to 1080p, but you know, let's not waste any time. There's a couple of experiences here. There's the dual view. We're able to record the main camera on the front and on the back. AI camera, which allows you to customize the experience there. We have Flash Snap, which is their function whenever you turn on the camera using the shortcut button, that quick launch, it turns on to Fast Snap to actually allow you to snap pictures much faster than usual. So it's a faster shutter speed. Portrait mode, as you'd expect, super night mode, of course, and of course under more. But let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead outside and do a quick test of the audio and video recording on the Canon 40 Pro 5G. Okay, we're gonna start off our front-facing camera experience here. We're using it at 4K 30 frames per second. I am in Singapore next to the Sultan Mosque, hanging out and just kicking it and just doing a quick audio and video test for you guys. I love the fact that we have the ability of using the main sensor to shoot 4K 30 as well as the main sensor on the front. Internet speeds in the US actually pretty decent considering the fact that it's not really optimized for the US. I was getting pretty decent speeds as you're looking on the screen right now. And from a benchmark's point of view, this is actually, again, this is a 7000 series. It's considered to be budget friendly, but also performing enough to give us the experience of long battery life and still be functional in that sense. Switching it over to the main sensor on the back. Now I'm shooting at 4K 30 frames per second here with stabilization. The biggest thing I'll probably say overall with the performance here on Geekbench, if we're looking at kind of just benchmarks for reference, it's going to be around the 1000. It's not really going to go again against some of the big guys. It's a 7000 series, 7300, and it's this dedicated chip made specifically for this device. A collaboration between MediaTek as well as Tecno. So the overall performance that you're going to get here is a lower mid-range experience with great battery efficiency, good connectivity with 5G options, great design. There's a few other options as far as the colors, but you're not going to be disappointed in the performance and the battery life for the price point that this device is coming in. So great performance, great connectivity. If you're going to import it to the US, it's going to work pretty decent. Not the highest connection speeds, but definitely pretty comparable to some devices, let's say on 4G LTE. And I think for the most part, that's going to give us pretty good connection. My hope is that you're able to enjoy this sample of audio and video from both the main sensor on the front and the main sensor on the back, both 50 megapixel cameras. And as you saw there, the audio and videos are actually pretty decent considering the experience that we were able to get there. We're going to jump real quick and do a quick audio test. We have stereo speakers at the top here for the earpiece that we see, and of course we have the bottom one. Both of them unfortunately are facing away from each other, so essentially you have to hold the phone sideways to be able to get that experience. We're going to listen to our favorite song, Alex Crindo Jumbo by NCS Release. I'll go ahead and turn that on one more time, and we have it at our favorite time and go 100% on the volume level. And since we have Dolby experience here, this should be a pretty decent experience.
Jack it up.
Now it sounds really good. It definitely gets loud enough for us to be able to enjoy content, listening to music, or even if you're doing a video call, it's not going to have any problems. It is not very bassy, and that's by definition, I feel like the speakers are basically tuned so that they don't become tingy or basically chop up the audio at the high level. So this is again playing it at 100%. We don't have a headphone jack, but this audio should be pretty good, and the experience is nicely mirrored. You can customize the experience to your heart's content, and of course, jump in, change all the different customizations from there, and of course, enjoy that experience when you're gaming. Now, as we're getting into the gaming side, we do have a nice game launcher that's built in here on the left side. You're able to trigger it. It sits on this left. Now, it automatically detected my game, and it was able to turn on the profile. It comes out of the box with standard mode or balance. And I would like to go to performance, of course. You can customize the brightness level, screen recording, of course, memory cleanup, stabilization, and of course, bypass charging if you want to be able to run directly connecting the cable and using the phone with the cable without charging the battery. Now, this allows us to actually have a benefit of not overheating and the ability to actually playing for an extended amount of time. Again, typically this is reserved to gaming devices, and I'm really enjoying the fact that Tecno's been able to bring that in here. Off-screen gaming, of course, we have the ability of going hiding notification, and of course, there's just a few other options in there. Disable, take screenshot from the section here if you don't want it to be able to set up there, and they're categorized on the left side. But again, turn on the performance mode, and that gives you the best of the Dimensity 7300. Keep in mind that there is an 8000 and 9000 series of Dimensities, which give you more of a mid-range to, say, flagship experience like the 9400 that we have in here. Here, we're getting a very nice balanced experience so that the battery that we have here, the 5200 milliampere, lasts us a very long time. Gaming gives us the ability of using the battery bypass functionality, so we can actually use power from the cable that we have in here and not necessarily have to charge it directly. So it gives us the benefit of using the device for an extended amount of time without overheating, reducing the, I would say basically the overall power draw as well. So that's one of the things that typically generates a lot of heat on a device. If you're charging it when you're playing, you're pulling a lot of power and you're giving a lot of power into the battery, which creates heat. And our ability to be able to use that bypass fixes that problem for us. When we go into the camera experience overall, we're pretty much, catered here to two main cameras, the front and the back. The back one's going to be the best performer. I feel like gives us the best images, the best color dynamic experience that we want to get there, as well as the best video experience. Both the front and the back give us that 4K 30 frames per second, which I appreciate again from what we're getting here. Typically, we get just a standard out-of-the-box 1080p resolution. Here, we're matching the front and the back. Although the 8 megapixel doesn't give us the same experience. And again, when we go up to the Premiere, that's a different experience entirely. I like the device. I like what it offers us, the opportunity of getting access to the DeepSeek R1 by default as the assistant. It works pretty well, and it has some nice experiences similar to what we get with Gemini. And if you're more of a fan of DeepSeek, this is going to work for you right out of the box. If you want to flip it over to Gemini, you probably will be able to just do that. Go into the settings, configure it to go to Gemini, download the Gemini application, activate it, and then go from there. And you can use the one tap button on the side to be able to activate it, or the press and hold power button to turn it on the standard way. So a lot of cool things going in there. And as you're looking with some of those images here in the US, going to San Diego, going to Singapore with some of those images that we're seeing here, the cameras are not going to disappoint. And again, I feel like it's nice that we have a mirrored experience, at least from video and the standpoint of just how we typically expect our devices to perform. Thank you to TECNO for allowing me to check out the Camon 40 Pro 5G. I hope that you guys enjoyed this device. Let me know in the comments below, what do you typically like out of TECNO? I've covered TECNO in the past, and I think the 30 Pro 5G was the one I covered last year, just about a year ago. And now we obviously are up to the 40 series with the brand new Dimensity chipset. And it seems like it's a custom collaboration between MediaTek and TECNO, because this isn't typically like a standard 7300. This is the 73 Ultimate Edition for Dimensity on the TECNO 40 Pro 5G, which is again a much better processor than what we get with the standard editions of the other Camon 40s. As usual, like and subscribe. I will see you in the next video.